Welcome to Bandit's Keep. I'm Daniel. This video I want to talk a little bit about adventure design, kind of theoretical, overarching as it would be. Once again, I kind of did a binge, as I do once in a while, and just started watching a lot of YouTube videos from channels that I haven't seen before, just anything that popped up. And I started seeing a lot of the same advice that I've seen for a while, just from new people. And I thought I would take my stab at saying that I don't agree with it. That's where I'm going to go with this. So the advice generally is that you want to make your adventures balanced with different types of challenges. Okay, that part's good. To suit the various types of player characters. And that's all fine. Except then they talk about make sure you have one combat encounter. Make sure you have one social encounter. Make sure you have one skills encounter. And that I disagree with. So how can I agree and disagree? Let me dig into this. I'm going to start off by saying, before people start typing in the comments that this has to do with new editions of D&D, I'm sorry to say that very old modules all have things in them, not all of them, but a lot of them have things in them that say, like, make sure you have at least one ranger and one druid in the party. This is not new. However, it's not something I have ever liked because I, when I was younger, rarely played with large groups, so we didn't have the facility to always have what people wanted, and we liked to play the characters we wanted to play. So if I wanted to play a thief and my friend wanted to play a cleric, then we didn't have a ranger in the party. Does that mean we can't do this module? It just seemed like it didn't make sense. So even as a child, I realized this wasn't good advice. Didn't have a good way to articulate it, nor a YouTube channel. I don't think the internet existed. Actually, I know it didn't. At least not the way we see it today. Let me tell you about bulletin boards. No, anyways, back on topic. Basically, the way that I approach encounter design is as follows. I create situations. I do not create solutions. Now, what this means is when we create something, let's say a door, there might be a key to that door. But using the key to open the door is only one solution. It is not the only solution. It does not require the players to do that in order to succeed. If you create a door that the lock cannot be picked, it cannot be bashed down, you cannot pass through this wall with magic because it has anti-magic field. The only way to get through is with this key. That, to me, is bad adventure design. Now, you might say, yeah, that's obvious. Okay, so if I created an encounter with an ogre and the only way to get past the ogre is to fight it, that is bad adventure design. You should be able to sneak past the ogre. You should be able to talk to the ogre. You should be able to do any number of things to get past this ogre. You shouldn't have to fight the ogre. Thus, you cannot create a combat encounter because you don't know the party is going to have a combat. That being said, you could just create what you think is a social encounter that could become a combat encounter or somehow a skill encounter. Maybe the idea is they're supposed to convince this NPC to give them this item. Well, maybe there's a thief in the party, and while the bard distracts the NPC, the thief sneaks around and steals it. Now we don't have to do anything. We don't have to tell the person that had the item that we wanted it. We could go in under totally false pretenses because maybe the party doesn't trust that person. We shouldn't have to go in there and use social skills to solve this problem, so they give it to me. You can't make a social encounter like that. I mean, you can, and a lot of people do. But I think if we start thinking about adventure design in a different light, that is to say, there is something that needs to be done, whatever it might be. Getting past this door, getting past the ogre, getting this item. Let the party, the adventurers, your friends, the players, figure out a solution. And roll the dice. Figure it out. This definitely requires you to really understand the system you're running so that you can make a call on the spot of what skills and such or how the combat would go. It also requires improv, right? Because if they suddenly want to talk to the ogre and you were planning on the ogre just attacking them. Now, I'll say that I've been a player in many games where it was clear this happened. Is there a way to do this? No. Is there a way to do this? No. Is there a way to do this? No. That's the players asking, DM saying. Never, do they let you do it. Okay, I want to stop this person from doing this. Oh, it's impossible. They got past you. Oh, I want to try to pickpocket. Oh, you can't. They're just too good at it. It's because it's always when the GM answers really fast that you know they have planned this to go a certain way and you need to go that way. You may fall in this even if you tell yourself, oh, I run an open world, I run a sandbox. It's tempting to have an idea and a way for something to happen and only let it happen that way. Now, I will say, again, because nothing is ever, right, black and white, there might be a very specific thing, right? You might need the special heartstone from the blah, blah, blah to open this special thing where this lich has been locked away for 100,000 years. And that might just be. But that shouldn't be a thing that you just run into, and it shouldn't be all the time. And they should have many ways to find the heartstone. They should have, again, the final thing of sticking it in there, maybe, but all that builds up to them getting to the place to put the thing in should be up to the players how they handle it, whether, again, it's social, whether it's combat, whether it's sneaking, whatever it might be. Now, again, obviously, if there's zombies or a golem that's programmed to just attack anybody who walks through the room, that's one thing. And I guess you could have an encounter like that, but maybe that would be considered a combat encounter, but would it? Because if they attack anybody who walks in the room, again, one of the player characters could distract while the others run by. Do they have to fight the golems? Is there a way to get by them some other way? Can they dispel the magic temporarily? Is there a way to get past these golems without fighting them? I bet if there is, your players will think of it and let them do it. I think that's really the key to any of this. This is what makes this game great. These games, role-playing games, is that they're open-ended. So I just want to say, whenever I see when somebody posts something that says, make sure you have a social encounter or make sure you have this encounter, it always makes me say, how about we just create situations and let the players do what they will? If you have players that want to have social encounters, they will find a way to talk to the ogre. Believe me, I have those players. If you have players that just want to fight, they will fight. And if you have players, and I would put myself in that category, that would rather use skills and manipulation and get around things, I will try to always do that. Talk to the DMs that I've played with. That is what I will try to do. If I have to fight, I will, but generally speaking, that's not what I'm going to do as a player because that's not how I generally play. Because as I said in different videos in the past, people generally play a certain way. No matter how many different characters we play, they always have a little bit of us in them. And I like to be sneaky and clever in games, and that's what I'll always try to do. So if you put combat encounter, combat encounter, combat encounter with no other way around it in front of me, I'm not going to be that satisfied. But if you put encounters in front of me that I can choose what to do, then I will. And if there's somebody in my party, you know who you are, that always likes to attack stuff, and that seems like the best way to do it, I'll back them up from the corner with my bow. So I would love to know what you think about this. How do you design adventures? Do you create combat, social, skill-based encounters, or do you create situations? Have you ever thought about it? Go back and look at things you've done in the past. Where do you fall here? Do you think that what I'm saying is completely wrong and you should make certain types of encounters? If so, why? I would love to hear that side of it, which is the kind of the normal side. That's what most people say. I would just love to know. And again, don't make a comment that says it's something about new editions, because I'll have to bust out a bunch of modules and show you where they very specifically in older modules tell you you have to do this. You need a ranger. It's there. It's not a new thing by any means. In any case, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please do like it and check the box. And check the box? Do the stuff that you have to do. Ring the bell. That's what it's called. Ring the bell, check the box, so that you get notifications. Also, check the description. You're going to find a link to my Discord server. Lots of great people over there. And my Patreon if you want to support the channel. I'll talk to you soon.